Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel and the last video for 2022. So I was able to, I wanted to originally do this live because honestly, swatching is so much easier as a project if I'm going to do a live, but I just could not make the timing work out for me. I've got a lot of lots of plates in the air right now, so we'll just have to do it like a regular video. And if you have any questions or would like to tell me anything at all, just drop me a comment, under the video, and I will answer you right away, because I'm pretty good about responding to messages and comments. At least I try to be anyway. So what I am going to show you and what I'm going to do, there's been a lot of buzz lately about these Arctix pencils. And if you guys know me, you know that I have tried some budget-friendly pencils. I've tried Castle Arts, I've tried Black Widows, and every set that I've tried, I've wound up sending back after about the fifth swatch. So I'm not, just me personally, I'm not, dissing any pencils. I'm just not a fan of most of the budget-friendly pencils that I have come across until now. So I read on in one of the groups that somebody had said that these were as close to Prismas as they've ever seen, and I could not resist. And the main reason I couldn't resist was because I know that outside of the United States, Prismas are quite expensive, which I guess is because they're made in Mexico. And so being in the United States, they're closer. So they're our cheap or cheapest, least expensive artist quality pencil. But I know that over across the pond, overseas, other places, that Prismas are quite a bit pricier. And, so not everybody either wants to spend the money on them or wants to, or can get them even. So I wanted to check out the Arctix because, I do 90% of my coloring for the channel using my Prismas. So I went through and spent days. Seriously, it was ridiculous. But I'm not going to tell you that I didn't have fun, because I'm kind of a pencil swatching nerd. I went through and matched up all of the Arctix colors with my Prismacolors. And all of the colors that you see, those are all Prismas right now. These are just the Prismacolors. Every color that you see, there is an Arctix pencil that is anywhere from 95 to 100% accurate to the Prismacolor pencils. So I'm going to put a chart up on my Ko-fi channel, Ko-fi page. There'll be a link to that down in the description box below. That will, and I'm going to do it in alphabetical order. And I'm going to list all of the Prismacolor names. I'm not doing numbers. I don't do numbers. I can't do numbers. My head does not do numbers. So it's going to be alphabetical names. I might put the number next to the name. And then the corresponding Arctix color, so that when we're doing a color along, if you don't have Prismas, you can just look up real quick on that chart what pencil I'm using in Prismacolor and find the corresponding Arctix color. I am not going to say to you that every one of these is a 100% perfect match, because they're not. And oddly enough, not all of them are, the color names are right. Like Jasmine and Jasmine, they're the same. Yellow Ochre and Yellow Ochre is the same. But Eggshell is is a different color in the Arctix. And there's a couple of them here that you would think that the name would match, but it doesn't. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to kind of swatch these out in front of you so you can kind of see what how they feel. And so we're just going to start at the, we're just going to start. Now, some of these have a slash across it. And what that means is that there is no Prismacolor match to it, which, on one hand, it's like, oh, bummer, there's no match. But on the other hand, it's like, ooh, I have all of these extra colors that are new, that, are like I can add into the rest of my Prismas. So they're not as soft. And you guys have probably seen a lot of videos on these already. Color with Claire, did one for sure. And it's interesting because the Color with Claire video that I watched said that her site said that they were oil-based. And my site says that they're wax-based. My Amazon site where I got these says they're wax-based. They feel like wax-based, I will tell you. Now look how nice of a match that is. And a lot of these are really, really close. So lemon yellow is Hansa Yellow Light. They are not scratchy. All the other budget pencils that I've tried have felt very scratchy to me. They're harder than a Prisma, but they're smooth. They just go on very smoothly and beautifully. So, I'm pretty pleased with these. And I swore, I'm one of those people, I have a coloring pencil addiction that I had to stop. I had to say, okay, you are not buying any more pencils. And I was doing really, really good. I was doing really good about buying any more pencils until these. And, it makes a big difference when you say I'm not spending, $150 or $200 on a set of pencils. It's a lot easier to go, oh, these are only $50. Okay, I'll do that. So that's, kind of why I spent the money. Now, I will say that I've never been a fan of the fluorescent colors. Some of these, in fact, now that I think about it, I think I left out a couple of the fluorescents because I personally don't use them. The thing, though, about the fluorescent yellows is they're really nice when you're doing leaves and stuff, because it just, on top of the other colors, it just adds a little brightness. So I kept the fluorescent in there, but I think I left out the fluorescence in some of the other colors. So yeah, so just, they're a really nice pencil. So hopefully, if you guys cannot get Prismas or choose not to get Prismas, maybe you will consider getting some of these, because they're really nice. Now you can see their canary yellow. I think you can see their canary yellow is a wee bit darker than this canary yellow, than the Prisma canary yellow. But in my brain and to my eye, they're close enough. They're close enough that if you're following along on a video, the difference is not going to be significant in the finished product. So this one is the one that's cadmium orange light, but to me, it's like, hello, that's eggshell. It looks just like eggshell. So now I do think that it takes maybe another 1 or 2 layers maybe of these to get the saturation of color that you get with the Prismas. but that's to be expected. I mean, there's nothing like a Prismacolor when it comes to the bang for your buck in the laydown of your color. So they're not Prismas. They're not an exact Prismacolor pencil, but color-wise, there's a lot of really close matches. So like right now, this one looks like it's going to be way too light, but I think once we get another couple of layers on here, it will darken up. It's going to be a little bit lighter, but again, the even though it's a little lighter, the color to me is very, very similar. One thing that I think we'll find down in this row, there's a few colors here that I wish they would have done something else. There's a few colors that are really similar. I mean, so similar that I used the same Prismacolor as the match for 2 or 3 of the Arctix colors. This one doesn't feel quite as super duper creamy, but still the color is pretty darn good. I don't have, there aren't any other sets of mine that I have that are match for match in color. As far as, you know, getting a conversion, you know, conversion chart or whatever. Most of the other pencils, it takes, you know, a couple of different colors blended together to make a match to another pencil. These are really quite close. So I'm doing these on white, you know, for you guys, but I did, because I told you I'm a swatching nerd. I did swatch them all out on my tan paper as well, just so that because colors, you know, they look different. You guys know they looked a little different on the white and the tan. All right, so here's one that we have no match for in Prismas. It's a lot of yellows. Sometimes I feel like, do we really need that many yellows? But okay, so here's one where the colors are all very similar. You can see here I have Prismacolor Sunburst Yellow and Prismacolor Sunburst Yellow. So if I ever use Sunburst Yellow in a page, you can use either one of these two pencils, because to me they're just so darn close. They're so close. Now, this is interesting because I'm swatching these on a different surface than I swatched the Prismas. And in fact, in other words, this is just a piece of mat board. And when I swatched my Prismas, I was swatching flat on my cutting mat, so it feels a little different, but you know, that's pretty close. This, when I'm looking through, is a little bit lighter than this one. Let's see how this Sunburst Yellow looks. I kind of want to sharpen this. Let me just see how it feels when I sharpen it. Still, I haven't found a single pencil that is scratchy. And you get a pretty good laydown of pigment without working too hard. All right, so you know, the sunburst yellow is probably a better match to sunburst yellow than this one, but they're really close. And if you're, you know, just following along doing, ooh, did I make a mistake? All right, bear with me. No, I didn't make a mistake. You will notice that, you will notice that this one is number 26. And here's why. So when I was swatching, you know, and anybody who swatches, you know that sometimes you're like, you get messed up and you do things in the wrong order. And you'll see some other things down here, and I'll show you how I did that. So, you know, I don't think that's important to you, because when I do the chart, it's all going to be alphabetized, not... but I wanted to stick this beige up here because I wanted it on this particular page for one, and I kind of felt like it belonged here more than where I had it. So that's why the numbers are out of order. But it doesn't matter, because when I use my color chart and I'm looking at it and I go, oh, I want beige, it doesn't matter that it's in this spot. It only matters that I know what number pencil it is. So there you go. All right, yellowed orange is 14. So I put all of my pencils in a case, just like I do all the others. This Arctix box, I mean, it's cool, but I don't think it's very functional to keep the pencils in. So there you go. Yeah, I've been working on these swatch charts for days, several days. I know, I'm weird. Okay, because, you know, you want them all in the right order. You want them all to be in pretty color order, and I know that it's not perfect, but it's close enough. And I'm wondering if you guys actually want to watch me swatching every one of these pencils. That's probably not the most enjoyable. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you like it. I keep pushing my board away, so I might readjust the camera and readjust my board. I can pull it closer to me so that it doesn't move. Right now I feel like it's moving a lot. Okay, there's goldenrod. It's a little bit lighter. I might be able to get it a little darker with another layer. But still, even though this is a tiny little bit darker, the color is the same to me. So that's why I did that. All right, I'm gonna just shut the camera off for a second and readjust here. Okay, I'll try and not go out of frame for you, but now I can, I thought I could, now I can push. What is going on? Okay, now I can push, I think, and not have a problem. All right, cadmium orange deep and cadmium orange hue. And I know I like big swatches. All the swatch charts that I've seen, or people swatching them out online, they're all just little tiny swatches, and I just think to myself, how on earth can you tell what color that is? So here's one of those colors. It's not an exact match. It's not even a match where I would say, this is one of those like, it's 90%. It's not exact, but Yeah, that one's probably a little far from being right. So maybe when I upload this, by the time the video comes out, I will have done this already. Maybe I'll put a little asterisk next to some of these and I'll claim like, not a perfect match. But then I always recommend that you have a little scratch piece of paper next to you when you're working so you can test things out and see how you feel about stuff. Don't just take somebody's word for it that it's the right color for you, what you need. This one's a little more burnt, I think, than the cadmium orange deep. That's funny. Yeah, this one's a little more burnt than this one, and the Arctix orange is a little bit more burnt than the regular orange. I did my best, people. Some just aren't going to be a good match, and I think this is, I think pale vermilion is one of those that's close, but not quite. One of these is pinker. I think the Prisma pale vermilion is pinker. Yeah, but definitely is pinker. Oh, yeah, that one's way off. See, I don't know. Maybe when I was swatching, I was swatching in different lighting or something. I don't know. I almost feel like with the Arctix, I almost want to grab like a pink, like a... I almost want to grab like, I guess all the pinks are on the next page. I'm just going to do an experiment. This is pink. That's still not quite right. You might have to play around with that one a little bit to get it a little closer. Okay. Maybe I'll just do... Ooh, wrong one. Gotta double check those pencils. What did I do? Oh, Carmine Red. I totally skipped Carmine Red. Why didn't you tell me? Okay, so Carmine Red has no Prismacolor match. You're probably screaming at me saying, hey, what about... I'm going to sharpen it. I'm debating on finding a different surface besides this mat board, something that's just a teeny little bit harder. I don't like super hard surfaces. I like there to be a little bit of give. Those mat boards are actually the best. Maybe I'll just treat myself to a small-sized mat board. Cutting mat, you know, not mat board, sorry, like a... What are those called? Self-healing cutting mat. I hate it when I color outside the lines. Okay. Crimson Lake, also one that does not have a match. What number is that? 24. Wait. What am I doing? I'm getting myself confused. Are you guys looking at me like, what is she doing? 19, Poppy Red. I'm looking at these going, oh, I did those already. Okay. Hello. Have another cup of coffee, Karen. Okay, there we go. poppy red. I also want to show you how well they blend. Maybe I'll do that when I get down to the reds a little bit. Let's do scarlet red. Going to be very interesting. I'm going to have to release the what is that perfection in myself when my grandson starts to color in coloring books, and I'm just gonna have to let him do his thing, because I am so freaky, like crazy about not coloring outside of the lines. I get quite frustrated at myself when I do that, and I'm gonna have to just let that one go, because I don't want to I want him to color the way he wants to color, and let him decide what he wants to do. I was so excited. I think I posted some pictures on my Facebook of his first time sitting with me in my lap up on the table coloring with colored pencils, because that's all I had was colored pencils. So I broke out my Arctix watercolor pencils, because those wipe up with just water. And he had so much fun, and I kind of thought, okay, well, that was fun, and then maybe he would just forget about it. But the next time he came over, which was a week later, he was coming up to me at the table, wanting to be picked up and wanting to color and play with the color pencils. And he did that for quite a long time, like for 20 or 30 minutes at a time, which for a not even 2-year-old, that's pretty good. I'm not sure that I'm loving this one. I'm not sure I love this one. All right, let me see what happens if we use the colorless blender. So colorless blender on Prismacolor just smooths that right out, and colorless blender on these just smooths that right out. I'm really impressed with these pencils, I gotta say. So all right, that may not be the most perfect match either, so that's that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna I'll just put a little asterisk next to the ones that are not quite perfect matches. Crimson red. But when you're coloring, on when you're following a tutorial, everybody's colors they often look a little bit different anyway, because of different pressure and different paper and all of that. So some of these I think are just, they're close enough that you're going to still get the same or very similar results to your whatever tutorial you're following. Boy, I don't know. Was I asleep when I was watching these matches? I'm not crazy about this match either. Nope, I might not even include that one. Those are pretty off. Oh well, I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that later. All right, Crimson Lake does not have a match in Prismacolor. It's a real pinky red. On the good side, I think that the skin tones, or most of the skin tones, are very close. So that's good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, let me move this up a little bit. All right, so I did for my swatch chart, I did move some colors around a little bit so that I could get kind of most of my skin tones together. They're not, necessarily in perfect color order, but they're a good order for me. So that's why you see them this way. So Prisma Light Peach is a teeny little bit pinker, but I still think that this is a perfectly good alternative. And then we have Peach. Which is a little bit lighter than the Prisma Peach in color. Not in color, in value, a little bit lighter in value, but I still think the color is very similar. Close enough. Close enough. Okay, Deco Peach in Prismacolor, Seashell Pink in Arctix. You can come in, Mom. My mom is staying with me while we wait for her heating and air conditioning unit to be repaired. Thankfully, it's not, minus 20 degrees like it is in some parts of the country. All right, this one is a little bit dark as well. But again, it's still, I think, similar enough that it can be used. Okay, nectar is called Dark Salmon in Arctix. I got a gift card for my son to Dick Blick, so I went through yesterday and ordered a bunch of pencils to fill in the ones that I'm missing, the ones that I don't have of both my Prismas and my luminance. And okay, what do we got going on here? Did I completely? Oh yeah, no, I didn't. Here's another case where my my order went completely out of. You can see this is 107, not 30. And I just, I decided I wanted sienna brown over here with the rest of the skin tone colors. So Anyway, I went through, I printed off the Prismacolor chart from Prisma. It's just like the chart that shows all the colors, you know, and I went through and put little hashtags, you know, next to the pencils that I have for backups. And then I used my gift card to fill in what I needed. It's funny because there's definitely pencils that I've gone through multiples of, and then there's pencils that I don't think I've ever, like I haven't used very much. So, but it's always nice to have, it's always nice to have that backup set, or those backup pencils. It's nothing worse than working on a project and needing a new color, needing a new pencil, and not having it. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if you place an order through Dick Blick, you can call them right after you've placed the order and give them special instructions on how to package your product. So I always call them and ask them to bubble wrap my pencils, because sometimes the guys in the warehouse are not super, they don't care. They just want to put the stuff in a box and ship it. And so I've had times when my pencils have arrived just loose, and that's just, I mean, that's just begging to have them be broken on the inside. So I always call right after I place my order online, and they pull up the order, and then they can write the special instructions, and you can say, you know, please bubble wrap the pencils. And every time I've done that, they've always come really well packaged and nice and safe. So okay, Venetian red and henna. I think those are pretty close. Really close. Very good. All right. Well, they're not exact, but they're pretty darn close. And it's a little pinker, but I think Venetian red will work too. Okay, terracotta. It's actually probably good that I'm doing these on white now, because that will allow me to go through and really be able to see well which ones are super close matches. Maybe I'll do it as a star rating system. Like 3 stars is an exact match, 2 stars is an acceptable match, and 1 star is use this pencil at your own risk. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'm feeling chatty today. I don't know why. Okay. Mars brown and chestnut. This is an important one because I use chestnut so much. Chestnut, all the peaches, those are all really good. Burnt ochre is really good. let's see, this chestnut looks a teeny little bit pinker as well. I still think it's close enough. Okay, then we have burnt umber. And again, that's kind of out of the color order because I wanted to put all of my skin tone colors kind of together. Yeah, putting these all in color order was a challenge because they don't come numbered really. I mean, it's teeny tiny little numbers on there, and I don't think the numbers are meant to go in order. And they didn't come in any color order in the box, not really. So I was doing a lot of testing, moving, testing, moving. All right, there's page 1. So I think what I'll do is maybe we'll just speed color through the rest of these. And if I have something profound to say, then I'll switch back to real time and say something. But I feel like I'm having a great time, but I'm feeling like maybe you guys would be bored listening to me just ramble on about colors. Okay, so this was one of those things I was talking about where I like completely messed up. So if you're ever swatching and you look at all the work you've done and you realize, oh crap, I missed like 4 pencils that they're supposed to go in here. This is what I did. So I had 1, 2, 3, I had these 4 pencils that I wanted to be here. So those pencils became numbered. If you number your pencils, I don't know, if you don't, then I don't think it's going to matter, but I number my pencils to make it easy for me to find them. So this became 38A, 38B, 38C, and 38D, and then I went on to 39. But it works because that's how they go into my case, and I can still find them. That way I don't have to completely renumber all my pencils and redo my swatch sheet. And it still looks neat and tidy, and it doesn't bug me I've definitely had times when I've redone a whole swatch chart because it bothered me for one reason or another. I told you I'm a swatch nerd. So there you go. So I'm kind of wondering, I'm not sure how much of this I want to do in real time and how much I want to do in speeding up. I'm afraid the video will just last a gazillion years if I try and do them all in real time. We don't want a 3-hour video for swatching. It's like decisions. Let's blend this one. Close. It's close. It's close enough, I guess. Okay. Tuscan red. What does Tuscan red look like? Oh, yeah. So no match in Prismas for this one either. So I would love to know how many of you already have the Arctix pencils. They're pretty, well, I only recently heard about them, probably a couple of weeks. But they really exploded. I've been starting to see them everywhere now. So I would imagine that if you're like me and you like to have pencil sets, you probably ran out and got them, especially since they're so reasonably priced. All right, we'll do this. This one more row. Is there anything else that I remember that I wanted to talk about? No, I guess not. Part of me even wonders if I should even bother swatching the rest of these out for you. I don't know. You never know what people want, right? Like some people might want it, some people might not. Because they're definitely bigger, more time-consuming swatches than some of the other videos that I've seen. That one's a pretty close. It's a pretty close match. All right, I'm getting myself out of order here. 38. I'm not putting pencils back where they go. All right, mulberry and mulberry. We're having wonky weather here. It's like 75 yesterday. I think it's going to be close to that today. And then tomorrow it's going down to like, well, it never gets really cold here. Tomorrow I think it's going to be in the high 50s and rain. We've got a 100% chance of rain tomorrow, which makes me happy. I know, I'm weird, but I'm a desert dweller, so rain makes me happy. All right, guys, I'm gonna switch back to just double timing through this so the video is not too super long. And maybe I'll put a flash on the screen if I'm gonna slow down and talk to you again. That way you know that there's something happening. All right, here we go. That's not a very good match. So this is a good example of how even though these colors have the same name, I felt like lilac in the Arctix was a much better match to the Prismacolor Parma Violet than the Parma Violet in Arctix. The Parma Violet in Arctix is much bluer. So that is why I you know, didn't do that as a color for color match because it's just not, it's much, much bluer. So that's why I did that. Okay, I think this is one of those colors. I think I wrote it in pen. This is one of those colors where I'm not sure if it was a good match or not. So I'm gonna put the cobalt violet down first. Now, there were some that were so iffy. It was like, in certain light it looks like it's a good match, and in other light it's not a good match. And later on, some of those I wrote in pencil as opposed to pen. Those were the ones that I'm like, not sure. So I'll get this one down. Let's go ahead and blend it. Then I should have prepared. I was not prepared. I need dioxazine purple, which is what? Hello, where are you? Okay. Can't find it. Right? Dioxazine purple. Oh, here it is. Okay, and let's get a little piece of... See, this is my like test. This was, I'm switching and I'm taking notes. It's like, all right, here's the dioxazine purple. Oh, well, here, let's just use this again. So cobalt violet and dioxazine purple. Why did I not fill that one in yet? I think those are a pretty close match. Yeah, I'm counting that as a yes. All right, let's just do it. Let's get that filled in. Some of these other ones where I wrote down with the pencil, those are definitely iffy. This is pretty close. So they honestly, they just really feel very similar. I don't feel like a huge difference when I put that Prisma down. It's not like, oh my God, it feels so different, because it really feels quite similar. All right, this is a little bit purplier. but I think that it's pretty close. Okay, back to violet blue. Violet blue. All right, so let's see what this is going to be. This was my French ultramarine and Indethrone blue. I'm gonna call, now that I'm looking at it, I'm just gonna call that good. I think that the Prisma version is gonna be a little bit darker, but looking at it again in this light, I think it's probably close enough. Sometimes these colors don't pop out the way that they actually look until I blend them with the blender. Like, I have a feeling that this color right now, this is the Prisma Indethrone blue, is going to get much bluer, not bluer, like, and not greener. That's not the right word either. More, yeah, see how it like when you use the blender, it just gets, it goes, what am I trying to say? It looks less navy and more like this French ultramarine. It gets, well, that was very uneloquent of me. I don't know how to describe what it did, but it, I guess I feel like it took on a little bit more of this, Copenhagen blue color, like this. That's interesting. Is it getting more turquoisey? Like, I want to say it's getting green, like it's leaning with more green tones in it, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It doesn't seem as navy or purpley once I put the blender to it. I don't like mess. Okay. What's next? Light cerulean blue. Okay, I've got to say that the blues, out of all of the ones that I've been doing so far, have felt a little bit more, what do I want to say? Not necessarily waxy, but I don't know if you know when you're putting down the pigment. There's a couple of Prismas that do this too. You're putting down the pigment and it feels like more binder is going down than pigment. It works itself out when you put enough layers down and and you blend it, then it gets nice. But some of these lighter blues kind of felt that way to me. Like I don't see a smooth. Now this one feels fine. This one doesn't feel like it's putting down weird. I think that's kind of why I returned the Castle Arts that I tried. Is that when I was putting the pigment down, it just felt like, it felt very, I don't know, like they just didn't, I had to work so hard to get the pigment down. These aren't that bad. Okay. Indigo blue. I think that one's just, oh, I guess it's okay. It's not terrible. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Holy moly, we still have a page and a half to do. Okay. True blue. I feel like I've swatched these colors 100 times. Oh wait, I have. True blue. I just realized that, not that it's super important, but I don't want to get myself confused. This is called Cobalt Teal Blue. Yep. Okay. Part of me feels like this, as I'm using it, I'm like, are you sure that this isn't a match for electric blue? One of the Prismacolors, I think it's electric blue, is awful. It's just the color is fine, the pencil, and it's not just, it wasn't just a bad pencil. I didn't like it in my first set of Prismas, and I didn't like it in the second set that I got. I'm just looking to see. I'm kind of curious now. This is the Prisma Electric Blue. Oh, it's just, I'm gonna try it. I think on my swatch chart, it just feels, yeah, it's probably a match to that. It just feels yucky. It's another one of those that just feels like super like waxy, and the pigment just doesn't come off the pencil. Oh, I just don't like it. It's just not a fun pencil to use. And I don't know if you can tell in the video, but even when I blend it, it still looks blotchy. Yeah, don't like that one. All right, on to 68. Helio turquoise. There's some nice colors in here that I'm kind of happy to be able to add to my, you know, my repertoire of colors. Something about these blues, though. I don't know what it is. All right, well, we'll just go with it. I still really like these pencils, and I still like that that they have a lot of the similar. And once they're blended, you know, they look fine. But I guess, you know, we get used to our Prismas. They're not Prismas. They're just not. But that's okay. Not everything can be a Prisma. They want to be Prismacolors, but they just can't. They just can't. I wonder if it's my paper. It's making these just not quite. I had no problem doing these swatches on on my tan paper. All right, do we just attempt to see what muted turquoise looks like? Where's that here? So, muted turquoise is what I have down as the match for this one. But it's definitely greener. So I'm probably going to say no on that one. So we're probably going to go whoop, no match. All right, Cadet Blue. Interesting. When I say interesting, what I'm thinking in my head is, this is not laying down the amount of pigment that I would have thought that it would. But, you know, you get enough layers down and it fills in. It's good. Yeah, it's good. All right. This one is definitely greener than the peacock blue. Although once you blend them, it's like, not, I mean, they're not being blended together, even though I'm going across. But once the colors get blended, they get a lot more similar. It's still definitely a little greener than this one, but I think that makes them close enough. Okay, let's see if the peacock green looks anything like the emerald green. I think I have that somewhere. All right, this is my test. Peacock green. Oh, these. Yeah, if I remember right, the peacock green from Prismas is quite a bit darker than this one. But let's just show you. Why not? Hello, where are you? Peacock green. I don't know if this is peacock green or not. I hate it when the I'm going to start writing the name as well as the number on the tip of my pencils, because once I sharpen past the name, then I'm like lost, because again, I don't use numbers. Okay, 907, PC 907 is what? Peacock green. It is peacock green. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that this one is going to be too dark. In fact, I'm almost wondering if I should even bother. Here, let's just do this. I really need to stop dropping my blender. So it's similar, but it's quite a bit darker. And I don't know how to get this one any darker. So I guess we're going to call that one a non-match. Okay, dark teal. That one's definitely bluer than the jade blue. So that's kind of a questionable match, unfortunately. All right, let's, I feel like I've been filming forever, you guys. I'm seriously like debating on what to do here about whether or not I should keep going or just show you the final results. Because really, the important thing is that file that I'm going to upload to the Ko-fi page. That's going to give you guys the, you know, the matching colors for color alongs and stuff. I feel like this video is going to be 3 hours long, even with me speeding through some of these colors. So I think, I don't know what to do. You know, isn't that so stupid? I'm like, yeah, just stop. And then the other part of me is going, yeah, but what if somebody wants to watch them all being swatched out? I'm a people pleaser. Okay. We don't have that many more to do. So I'm probably just going to swatch them off camera. And then I'll come back and I'll show you, I think I'll do that. I'm going to swatch the rest of these off camera and then I'll come back and show you what they all look like. Yep, that's what we're doing. Okay. Okay, I'll be back in a flash. Okay, so it is the next day, actually. And it's pretty kind of dark and cloudy outside, so I don't know how different the colors look, but I did finish swatching the rest of the greens and the grays. This one I changed my mind on. I had put the Prismacolor Chartreuse down, and it just wasn't close enough, so I kind of erased it and marked that one out. But you can see that a lot of these are really very good. So one of the things that I'm going to do on the PDF that I'm going to make available for you guys with the alphabetical list of the Prismacolor and its corresponding Arctix color is I'm going to use a little star system as far as like the really good matches. So I think like 3 stars is going to be excellent. 2 stars is going to be very good. And 1 star is just going to be good. It's still a good match. The colors, you know, could be used. The colors are similar. I think this one's just a little bit lighter than this one. So some of these are going to have like the peach, you know, that's a 2. So it's a very good match, but not an excellent match and not just a, you know, good match, which would be like what I would call this one. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do for that. And so you can see a lot of these greens are really quite good. The pale sage is, you know, it's not a perfect match, but it's a good match for, you know, when you're trying to follow a color along and they use pale sage. If I use pale sage, and you know, then you can use the pale green instead. So there are the rest of the greens and the browns. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of good matches for their browns. So on one hand, that stinks in if you're trying to, you know, match my Prismacolor Espresso, say, or any, you know, not my Prismacolor Espresso, but you understand what I'm saying. So there's not a lot of good matches for the browns. These are all nice browns. I think these are kind of very, very similar. Nice browns, but not a brown that matches a Prismacolor. Thankfully, the beige sienna has a decent match, and the light umber has a good match. So I use those 2 colors a lot So that's a good thing. And really, you know, if you're using, if whoever's color along you're following, this doesn't have to necessarily be mine, but, you know, if they're using an espresso or a dark brown, just pick a, you know, one of these browns. They don't have to be exact. For me, the biggest thing are the, either are the colors similar, or are the tones, that's not the right word. What's the right word? You know, what am I trying to say? There's a word for that, and I cannot think of it. Value. Are the values similar? You know, these two olive greens, the colors are not exact, but their values are really similar. And so, you know, colors don't have to be exact, but at least this will give you a good guide as to what you can use in these Arctix colors. Because, boy howdy, since these kind of have come out on the market, I've been seeing more and more people talking about buying them in the groups, and they're really becoming quite popular. So hopefully they won't raise the price because of their instant popularity. I don't think they will. I think I paid about $50 for this set of 124. And I would say probably a good 75% of these all have a Prisma match. So that's not too shabby. So that is all for this one. I am going to go through, get the PDF done. That will be as a free download in my coffee shop. I still don't know how to pronounce that word. And then hopefully you guys will like it. I will also put a link to these pencils down below the video or beside the video, depending on what device you're watching from. And that'll be that. I'm going to try and get back soon with the first color along of 2023. It's going to be one of my fairies. I'm very excited about showing you guys these. I have quite a few of them already done, and ready to just start, you know, putting them out there on the channel. Anything else? I don't think so. I'm hoping that I can get that done soon. I've got some things going on with family and health issues, and not my own health issues, but family health issues, and just, yeah, some pretty heavy stuff going on. So I'll do my best, and hopefully it won't be too long. And that is that. You guys have a very happy and safe new year. I would imagine a lot of us are staying home, are staying home in the comfort of our own cozy little spaces. And maybe we're all going to be coloring together, even though we're not really together. Maybe we'll all be coloring on New Year's Eve. So I will see you guys next year. Thank you for an awesome year, for all of your wonderful support. And that's it. Until I see you guys again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love to you all. Love. Happy coloring. Bye.